All right. So now here's just a few home activities that you guys might complete at home. All right. So first, I know kiddos love cutting, gluing, all those arts and crafts. So you can try cutting out pictures from maybe magazines or some old books, or really anything of a person's face or an animal's face or just a character in general that you think is showing some kind of emotion. So see, I have some cards here with some kids with some different faces. And what you would do, you would talk about these pictures. Like, oh, there's two girls here. How do they feel? What are they doing? You just try to get them to socially communicate. And then if it's a bad behavior, be like, oh, what could they have done to do better? And talk about how that would it would be better to communicate with those communication partners. And talking about emotions, so they can kind of show emotion and then read other people's emotions to know what to do in social situations. And you can also read books together, which are lovely. I love books. And so as you read through it, maybe ask them, you know, what's going on here? Ask them to describe the colors, the shapes, the scenes. And then you can also throw in that emotion component if there's different faces that they see, you know, tears, smiley faces, anything like that. So it's really elaborating on the books that you guys read. So it's not just reading, but kind of making up your own story and talking more about each illustration. And you can also play games with your kiddos. This can be board games or I Spy, card games, really any games that you might normally play with your kiddo, but just have them practice a little speech or occupational therapy in between. So an example for me would be like, oh, it's your turn. Can you say the R sound? And if they say it correctly, they're like, okay, your turn. And that also works on that turn-taking ability that some ASD kiddos lack a little bit. And then in addition to that, you can have them chat with Siri or Alexa. Like I said, they're super technologically savvy nowadays. So that really forces them to use that clear pronunciation and articulation of those good sounds and those good words for that technology to be able to understand them. So it's like, oh, well, they can't listen unless you use your good speech. So it kind of forces them to have to think about it a little bit more.
So additional activities may be cooking together, making a simple meal, using simple recipes to target specific sounds or ingredients. You could possibly make a movie. So using your phone to record a video of a child practicing or reciting their favorite book, poems, or movies using their best speech so they can play it back later and know that's the way they should say it. During car rides, you can use simple pictures like Brooke just showed to encourage the child to read out loud and look for items out in the street. You can encourage sensory breaks, so the use of heavy work activities that we talked about earlier. So pushing, pulling, using fidgets, squeeze balls, stretchy toys, putty, skipping, swinging, running, jumping, and a lot of outside play. You can even use pop tools. This is pop tubes. This is a favorite at the therapy at their place. And then environmental accommodations. So maybe she's knowing herself. And then environmental accommodations. So maybe incorporating a quiet corner to allow the child to de-escalate when they're upset. So incorporating low lights, weighted blankets, beanbag chairs, stretch balls, soft pillows, any quiet toys. And it's any comforting item they can use to re-regulate and get back to that good area that they need to be in.
All right, and if you'd like to read more about some of the resources that we've come up with within our presentation, we have included those here with the URLs and the links to them. I just wanted to, if you guys want to know more about treatment approaches, specifically for SLP or OT really, our national website is the ASHA website, and they have tons of resources on autism. And so they can also lead you to different resources that includes games or any kind of things you need online for computer-based activities. So they're not only an information repertoire, they also include resources. So they're pretty cool.
And AOTA for occupational therapy too. That's our national website. Check it out.
All right.
So now it's time for questions.